friends. I'm Alexandra Harbushka, founder of Life with Herpes. And today I got inspired to do a podcast solo. I haven't done one and I don't know how long. I was on a walk this morning at 5 a.m. with my dog, listening to the little birds chirp as they started waking up. And I just thought, exercise is something that is really important to me. It's a non-negotiable. I don't mess around with it. And I thought, gosh, I specifically talk about things just with herpes, right? Like I talk about dating, I talk about disclosure, I talk about supplements, I talk about um, what is herpes, HSV1, HSV2, all those things. And I thought, okay, that's great. And I will continue to do that. And I love obviously doing all the information I can. But I thought, if I can also take you into my life and some things that I am doing daily that I feel contribute to my overall well-being, and better off I am, the less likely I am to have herpes outbreaks, right? And so a lot of times we think with herpes outbreaks, it's cause and effect, right? I eat an ice cream peanut butter sundae, then I will get a herpes outbreak. And you might, right? Because they are a huge trigger for herpes for whatever reason. It just triggers it big time, especially for people with HSV2. Um, but I wanted to go deeper, right? I wanted to go deeper into an overall well-being of things that I do in my life that are non-negotiable. So let me get going. Number one, I prioritize my sleep. That is my time. I've always been a good sleeper, but as I've aged and as I've become a mommy, my sleep is something that I do not mess with. Okay. My idea of getting ready for bed is 8 p.m. And for some of you listening right now, you may think that's absolutely ludicrous. 8 p.m., Alexandra, what? 8? How are you in bed at 8? That's my goal. All right. I like to start preparing my body around 8 p.m. and ideally be in bed by 8:30, asleep before 9. That to me is in a perfect world. And why is my sleep so important to me? Well, as I've started to age and as being a mom, so number one, being a mom, for those of you that are parents out there, your sleep is not always guaranteed. You could have a nightmare. Somebody may need to go potty. Someone just might want cuddles, whatever it may be. You may think that, oh, my kid's going to sleep in today, but your child gets up at 5 and you're like, oh, I stayed up till midnight. Great. Here I am. Right. And for me, if I don't get proper sleep, I have brain fog. I don't eat properly. I don't exercise. I don't take care of my body the way that I like to take care of my body. If I have a couple nights of bad sleep, which can happen, understandably, if I have a couple nights of bad sleep, then it's definitely not uncommon for me to feel that prodrome and to feel the outbreak starting out. So I do things to prepare myself all day for sleep. Like I have a hard stop in my day at 5 p.m. At 5 p.m., I am doing everything I possibly can to prepare for bed. And I say that as a mom, but also as an adult, right? If I wasn't a mom, I would be doing, once again, everything I can to prepare to go to sleep. My husband likes to have every single light on in the house. Like I'm getting a pap smear and I'm like, dude, it's so bright in here. But I lower the lights in our kitchen. I don't consume caffeine. I have I call it my cocktail. It's Pellegrino with some cherries. Cherries are a natural melatonin. I consume things that are going to help me go to sleep. So that's number one, sleep, sleep, sleep. I wear blue light glasses when I get in bed. I try not to look at my phone, but I may need to reply to somebody that I didn't reply to earlier, or do one. There's always something I have to do. If I do that, then I wear my blue light glasses because I don't want any of that extra light to spike my cortisol levels to get me going for the day. I don't want to mess with my brain. I am in preparation to go to bed. Sometimes I'll take a warm shower. For my son, and I'll put it on myself. I will spray. I use a magnesium lotion on him to help him calm down. And I will also put it on my feet as well to help me calm down. If I'm still in that state of I cannot sleep, I will use tapping. That's something I can get into in another episode. It's a method of tapping. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's tapping certain points on your face that are basically like meridian points to help calm your nervous system. So those are some things I do. We have blackout shades. I have it set. I like my room cold. I don't mess around with that. So sleep, all right? That's number one. The next thing that is also just a non-negotiable in who I am, and I'm going to be honest, it started off with me being vain. I'm a female. I want to look good. The way to look good is to eat healthy. Obviously, if you eat crap, you're going to look like crap. As I, got through my 20s and you're just not as nimble as you were at, say, 22 when you could go through a taco shop drive through at 2 a.m. after drinking beer all day and eat a burrito at 2 a.m. and wake up and be completely functional the next day. I don't know how that is. I no longer do that. So I started eating healthy out of just wanting to look good, not so much to feel good. At this point in my life, it's to feel good. If I don't eat healthy, if I don't eat something that is good, that is nourishing, that is actually food, then I have a stomach ache. I have brain fog. I don't sleep well. When I say food, I mean, when I look at the nutrition label, if it has more than 4 ingredients in there, it's not food. It's not food. It's chemicals, it's products. There are things that are inflammatory. There's things that have lots of side effects. I don't do that. I cook from home. I know some of you listening like, Alexandra, I don't know how I'm going to do that. I work full time. How am I going to cook? When I worked full time, I'd work 50 hours a week. I still made my meals. I dedicated a Sunday or Saturday or whatever day to meal prepping. I went to the farmers markets. I bought my groceries. I meal prepped to the best of my ability to make sure that I was getting good food. And when I say good food, I eat whole foods. I'm not going to buy, I was at gymnastics yesterday with my son and I watched a mom give her child, what were they, like Smucker's little fruit snacks. That's not what we do in our house. We have fruit snacks. I make them, right? We make our own fruit roll-ups because there's only 2 ingredients in them, 3 ingredients in them. I cut up apples. I have berries. I wash them. I meal prep them. I wash them all on the weekend. So all of the blueberries are washed. All the strawberries are washed. I chop up the fruit. It's all ready to go. I have my vegetables I have my carrots. I have my celery. I have my radishes. I have my bell peppers. I have all my stuff chopped up so that when it's time to prepare a meal, I can boom, 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 throw it in and cook. So that's something that's also really important to me. You've obviously heard us talk about supplements. I am a huge supplement fan with Natural Cure Labs, aka Palmera Health. I have my non-negotiables, which are lysine, monolaurin, andrographis. I do not mess around with those. Those help me significantly prevent prodrome. They help me significantly if I do have an outbreak, speed up recovery. In general, they help keep me healthy from other things coming into my realm, especially as a mommy when my child likes to bring home every bacteria that walks to the school. So I do not mess around with my supplements. We can get into those in another episode if you guys want. Let me know in the comments. But here's 2 things that may sound very different when it comes to whole foods or eating food that is good for you. My mindset is if it's not going to benefit me, why would I eat it? Do I like cookies? Of course I like cookies. Do I like chocolate? I love chocolate, right? Do I like ice cream? Yep, of course I do. Well, I'm not as much into ice cream as my husband, but anyways, I do like those things. So I make them, right? Do I like bread? Yeah, of course. But I only eat things knowing that it's going to benefit me. And that's my mindset. When I look at something, I go, is this like chips? If would I buy, I don't know, think I'm not talking Doritos, which we know are awful for you, or things like that. But if you're like, I don't know, some kettle chips, we're like, oh, is this going to be good for me? I would literally weigh the option of like, how is this going to benefit my body? How is this going to fuel my gut health? How is this going to fuel my cells? And how am I going to feel after this? Now, there's times where I'm like, this is just way too important for me. Like I love French fries. That's something that's important to me. But in general, I try and weigh it. We all know that a carrot, a tomato, a piece of homemade sourdough bread is going to be way better than going through drive-through at In-N-Out, right? Does it mean that I don't go through In-N-Out? No, I still have done that, but I definitely weigh my options. But here's two things that I think that really help weed out foods that are just like I don't go near it. Number one, I do my every bit of possibility to eat organic. Now, there are some people that are agnostic when it comes to organic foods. They're like, that is the biggest hoax. My father is one of them. He's like, it's just overpriced. It doesn't matter. Da 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 da. GMO all the way. The tomatoes are fresher. They don't go bad sooner. I'll have all that. That's that belief. The more I learn about the reason why we want organic, and specifically it's one, well, there's a lot, but one thing, glyphosate, okay, AKA Roundup. If it's not organic, are the people that are spraying our fruits and vegetables out there, they are in hazmat suits. They are covered. They are not breathing in the glyphosate that's coming in. It is poisonous. Okay. It is poisonous. It hurts us. And it's one of those things like little by little by little, we haven't realized like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. And all of a sudden you go, oh gosh, why am I infertile? Oh gosh, why do I have, why is there autism in my family? Oh gosh, why is there some gastrointestinal issues? I struggle with a lot of tummy issues, and I have zero doubt it's because of the Roundup. I have zero doubt on these things the next one I'm gonna talk about too. So glyphosate, basically what it does is it suppresses our endocrine enzymes. And basically what it does is it hurts our gut microbiome. Okay. So that's the really important stuff in our gut. It's the good bacteria. It's the ability for our body to digest, absorb, prevent leaky gut. Most of Americans have leaky gut. Gee, I wonder why, right? Because we're consuming non-organic, where the glyphosate is absorbing it and it's causing these issues. Um, there's arguments that glyphosate food is equally as potentially harmful as eating genetically modified foods. Again, I grew up on that. I didn't know any different. Now, as an adult, I go to farmers markets and I buy as much as I can from the organic section. I go to Whole Foods. I go to Sprouts. I only eat those foods. When it comes to my meat, when it comes to my fish, I used to love the farm raised salmon from Whole Foods. Like I loved it. It was fattier. I loved it. Now I can't even, it smells disgusting to me, right? So my taste buds have changed as I've eliminated and gotten cleaner and cleaner and cleaner. You don't want fish eating their own feces. You don't want any of that. You don't want the farms where the chickens are raised to have huge breastbones or breast meat. You don't want them there. That's not how they're supposed to be, right? One of the things, I don't buy portioned chicken anymore. Like if you're like, oh, I want chicken breasts for dinner, I don't buy them. I buy a whole chicken. You know why? Because that's how the chicken's supposed to be. And I buy heirloom. I buy the most expensive. Yeah, is it expensive? Yes, but I feel like it keeps my family healthier. And I buy the whole chicken and I make it once a week. And then therefore we have leftovers for the rest of the week. Here's some of the consequences for that are associated with the Western diet being so heavily with the glyphosate, which includes gastrointestinal disorders, obesity, diabetes, heart disease, depression, autism, infertility, cancer, and Alzheimer's disease. These are being linked to it. So if you're someone that's never even heard of this concept, which was me probably 2 years ago, I mean, we all heard like, you hear it here and there, but until you're like, well, how does it really impact me? Like, is it really going to change me? Yes. Okay. I've noticed differences in my health. I've noticed differences in my brain fog. I've noticed differences in how I perform. So that is something when it comes to nutrition, organic. We do not want the glyphosate. The next thing when it comes to nutrition that I avoid like the plague, and this is also very new to me, and I want to say this is something I was raised on as a kid because it was something that I was raised with olive oil, yes, but we also used a lot of canola oil. And the reason why is the belief in the 90s was that late 80s, early 90s was, hey, it's better for your heart health. It's better for your cholesterol. We should cook with this. We should cook with this. Okay, if you are using canola oil, you need to stop immediately. Number one, it comes from a plant called the rapeseed. Why would you want to be eating something that comes from rape? Like that's disgusting. Like why? Canola is the biggest hoax out there. Okay, the rapeseed plant was brought into to used in order to create oil when we would go to war. I believe it was World War II to be exact. They used it to produce oil for their machines, for all of the military machines. So you can usually, if you can actually use canola oil to change your oil in your car, why would you be using that and eating that? Absolutely not. So I guess I jumped ahead of the game. I avoid seed oils. What are oils that I use? What are oils like I consume? I have olive oil. I have avocado oil. I use duck fat, and I use beef tallow. Okay, so I use real oils. Seed oils are manufactured. They are vegetable oils. They are high in omega-6. These include corn oil. No, never. Safflower. No. Sunflower. No. Soy. No. Any vegetable products made with these oils. No, 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 no. Foods in high omega-6, they produce inflammatory chemicals. It's pro-inflammatory in our body. Okay. So we don't want this. I didn't realize it. And all of a sudden, and like little by little, I would notice things. So for example, we talked about Whole Foods. I happen to love the tuna salad at Whole Foods. I love it. It's cranberry. I absolutely love it. And I noticed that when I would eat it, not every day. Well, I couldn't eat it every day, but if I ate it like twice, like back to back, I would have a horrible stomach ache and I wouldn't understand why. So I'm like, oh, if I have it every other day, I'm fine. Another thing I noticed about chocolate. Chocolate, if you look at the ingredients, a lot of chocolate that you buy has sunflower, has soy oil, has safflower. I was like, gosh, why is my tummy ache after I ate chocolate? Specifically, I love the chocolate covered almonds from Trader Joe's. Love them, right? They're not organic. And I love them. And I'd be like, why does it hurt? My stomach hurt. I had like three, like awful. Okay. For whatever reason, my body doesn't like it. So that's great. These things sneak in. Once you're aware of them, it does make it easy to look at the back of an ingredients and go, oh, I can't get this. There are some things at Costco, for example, I understand you don't always want to cook everything. I get it. You do need to look on the back of the ingredients. I know Costco does have a popcorn it's in the red bag, and it's organic, and the popcorn is non-GMO, it's organic, and they use coconut oil. Oh yeah, that's the other oil I use, coconut. Okay, so coconut, avocado, olive, and then beef tallow and duck fat. Okay, so if you guys want to know more about what oil I use for what, I can get into it. I feel like this episode's getting long as it is. Here are some side effects of all these seed oils. We don't realize them. We're like, oh, why are we obese as a country? They did these reports on Japan. I'm not going to have the accurate dates. I should have, of course, looked it up before I started this. But once seed oils were introduced to Japan, which is a very their diet's very specific, right? They're very cultural. It's not one like American that has everything in it. So Japan is a great country to look at. It's very specific about what they eat. Once they changed and started cooking with seed oils, it showed the obesity rate jumping up in Japan, right? They can't figure it out. Why we haven't changed. We're not consuming more. If you look at pictures of Americans from the 50s and the 60s before seed oils were really common, no one was fat. No one was obese. It really started in the 80s, 90s, and look at us now. It's ridiculous. Okay, so the side effects are asthma, autoimmune disease. So if any of you are dealing with autoimmune disease, it probably stems from a lot of what you're eating. Cognitive and mental health issues such as depression, anxiety. How many of us have that with herpes outbreaks? Could be your seed oils, right? Cognitive decline, dementia, even Alzheimer's. This is the big one. Diabetes, obesity, heart disease. Okay. We think that we're being heart healthy if we have vegetable oils. No. Okay. No, no, no. Gut health issues. This is my personal one. IBS. I have IBS. I've worked very, very hard for the last 8 years to clear up my IBS. And it's ridiculous when it's like, oh, you just have IBS. No, I don't just have IBS. Like I wasn't born with it. Something created it, right? So seed oils, inflammation. I had tons of inflammation, infertility, molecular degeneration, osteoarthritis. Okay. These are all things that people go, oh, it just happens with age. Oh, no, it doesn't. Right. Look, I'm so passionate about this. Again, I know we're supposed to be just talking about herpes, but these are things that are non-negotiable for me. So again, I have supplements. I eat whole foods. I cook as much as I can. I probably eat 2 meals a week out in a restaurant. When I do that, I'm very specific about where I eat and I know what I'm consuming. I choose restaurants that are going to have minimal seed oils. I do like French fries, so I have one restaurant where I have French fries, but they cook them in beef tallow, so I'm okay, right? But yeah, I don't mess around with that. And there's times when I go to people's houses and I'm like, oh my God, they just use canola oil to cook that shit, right? Like the other thing, our body doesn't digest these seed oils for 7 years. It's disgusting. You're supposed to take something in, your body's supposed to digest it and keep going. All right. So I'm passionate about food. I'm passionate about my sleep. I'm passionate about food. Next one. This is what prompted this whole conversation was exercise. Okay. Exercise is something it was a non-negotiable in my house growing up. Both my parents exercise. I lived by the beach. So we did beach walks all the time. We were a very mobile family. I've taken it to the next level where I do weights. I exercise my muscles, not just cardiovascular with walking. So exercise. I am active 6 days a week and probably 7 because I'm a mom. Like I go to do something that I wasn't like, oh, we're going to have an impromptu bike ride. I wasn't planning on that, but now we're going for a bike ride. When I say active, and this may not work for you, I actually choose things that are pretty low impact. Well, I guess running is not low impact. I enjoy running. I run 2 to 3 times a week. It's anywhere from a mile to 3 miles. It depends on, I live in Las Vegas. So if it's 120 degrees out, I'm not running 3 miles, right? I also like to push my son in his, like we call it his chariot. That's 50 pounds, right? So sometimes 50 pounds is pretty hard to push for 3 miles. But anyways, I try and do that and I listen to my body. If I'm not running, I don't feel like it, I go for a walk. So I would say that I probably get out there 4 times a week, walking or running mixture 4 to 5 times a week. I really try my best to get out there and move and get some sunshine and listen to the birds and smell the fresh flowers and things like that. I think that there's a lot that's underestimated in just walking. I think we don't think a lot about it. Now, there's some arguments being said, hey, these high impact, these hits can increase our cortisol levels. They can cause herpes outbreaks. I would say listen to your body. If you're someone that's always exercised and your body loves it, keep doing it. If it's brand new to you, work up to it. The worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to get a herpes outbreak, okay? And then so walk. Go for a bike ride, get outside and get fresh air. I also love bar. Bar is like a mixture, bar is a very low impact. And it really strengthens my muscles. Ideally, I do it 4 times a week. You guys may be going, oh my gosh, that's a lot of exercise. It's important to me. My body feels better. My brain fog is gone. I sleep better. See how this is a full cycle? I sleep better. I eat better. I tell myself, oh, well, I don't want to drink alcohol tonight because I want to get up early. I like to get up at 5 a.m. and I like to get my exercise in. I guess I should have added alcohol. Maybe it's number 5. Maybe we can add it to exercise. Maybe we can add it to nutrition. I'm going to circle back to that because I do have a very specific one for um, my fourth thing that I have really been working on to up-level my life and help with herpes outbreaks. But let's go back to alcohol. I cut it out except for Saturdays. Maybe on a Friday, maybe, but I cut it out. You know why? Back to my sleep, back to my nutrition, back to my exercise. Okay. Those 3 things. I noticed that when I was drinking alcohol, I wasn't sleeping as well. When I don't sleep as well, I don't want to get up in the morning and I don't want to work out. If I don't work out, I'm sluggish all day and I don't want to do my work. Okay. I only have 3 hours a day to work on Life with Herpes, maybe 3 hours a day. So I want to be as proactive as I can to get this done and get this out to you and continue to support you all. So back to alcohol. When I started learning about basically how toxic it is to our bodies, when I started learning about all of the added chemicals, there's that are added, glyphosate is one of them. When I started looking at there's mold, there's all sorts of things in wine. Why would I continue to drink it? It's poison. I say this as somebody, I love wine. It is one of my favorite passions in life. Oh, my best friend's calling. Anyways, it's one of my favorite passions in life. I love the ritual. I love the smell. I love the holding a wine glass. I love the sound of a wine bottle opening. I love wine. I drank wine every single night for 20 years. It was a part of who I was. I no longer drink it except on Saturdays because I still love it. And it's important for me to enjoy that with my husband when we go on dates. All right. My last thing that has Uplevel, this is going to be very different. It's going to be something that's new. It's going to be something that you're probably not doing. And I feel that implementing this in this last year has completely changed how my body reacts to herpes outbreaks. It's nervous system work. Okay. It was brought to my attention through Elisabeth, Christoph, I think at the end of last year. So maybe like October of last year. I'm recording this in April. And at first I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, I know we need to lower, our immune system plays a big role. We get into our sympathetic nervous system. That's a fight or flight. Yeah, I know. Yeah, okay, stressed out. It causes inflammation. Yeah, I know. You can't stay in fight or flight. Yeah, I know, right? Okay, but I didn't know. Okay. So I loved operating out of the sympathetic nervous system when it's activated. That is fight, flight, fawn, or freeze. I loved that. Those were my responses, and that's what I loved operating out of. I had learned to feel good in that. Okay, what does that do? It puts tons of strenuous, unneeded stress on our bodies. It is good in certain situations. You need your fight or flight in certain situations, right? Stranger danger, there's a bus coming at you, something happened, you need to react fast. You need to study for a test, you're in a test. You need to get work done. You need to do things. Great. I understand why it clicks on, but mine wasn't clicking off. So I was in this constant state of go, 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 go. I could feel the adrenaline pumping through my veins and I didn't know how to turn it off. And you hear this, oh, like, let's meditate. And I'd sit there and be like, I can't meditate. I got shit to do. I got to get work done. I got to, right? I really started honing into this. And I would even say I am a freshman. I'm a kindergartner when it comes to nervous system work. If you've not listened to Elisabeth Christoph's podcast episodes, this is a must. Okay. I am dedicating every single day. I'm in her course. I am dedicating my nervous system hygiene, is what she calls it, to basically lowering my cortisol levels and basically getting out of my fight or flight. So this is something that I don't mess around with. The next thing that I have really been working on, which goes hand in hand, is called biofield tuning. Okay. You're like, what the heck is this? It really is a form of sound therapy, and it works on the body's electrical system. You're like, what are you talking about, Alexandra? I probably need to do an entire podcast just dedicated to this, but we're electrical and we have electrical currents going through us. When something's out of whack, our bodies have to adapt to it. So, for example, with our sacral chakra. So it works with our chakras, with our sacral chakra, right? That's for us living with herpes. That's probably where we hold most of our trauma when it comes to herpes diagnosis, right? It can do with sexual assault. It can do with any type of wounds, like emotional wounds. It can have things to do with feeling like you're overdoing and not getting results. It can have things to do with our money, right? Our frequency of our money blocks, all of this stuff. So I've been working on really tuning, no pun intended, like using sound therapy to tune my my chakras, right? Specifically my sacral chakra. Specifically, that is with the sexual, um, I guess we could say like what I've dealt with being diagnosed with herpes, not holding on to the shame and guilt. That's a huge reason why we hold on to it is our electrical systems all off. So that is something that I have been working on and tuning and educating and listening. And I've noticed a huge change. When my nervous, like my husband asks, he's like, yeah, how are you? You're calm. And I'm like, yeah, I worked on my nervous system today. I did my tuning. I took Elisabeth's class. Like I'm good. I'm relaxed. It allows me to be able to conquer the day. Okay, friends, I just gave you a lot. It was more than what I was thinking of. Just to review: sleep, nutrition, um, exercise, and nervous system work. Those are non-negotiables for me that I do not take lightly and I implement in my life. And I truly, 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 truly feel that because of them, I am a better version of myself. I have less herpes outbreaks. If I do get one, they're minute to where they were in the past, which were Armageddon. All right, friends. Oh, and I forgot to even mention it. Gosh, I just got so carried away. Forgot to mention a couple of things. I did talk about supplements. I do have them linked for you. I did talk about Elisabeth's course. I do have a free course for you that you can check out that Elisabeth and I put together specifically with our nervous system and our herpes. Why when your nervous system is out of whack, it's causing herpes outbreaks. And it's very, very good and very, very important. So I do have that linked for you. But lastly, what I actually really wanted to say was I do have a free download. It's a toolkit. It's a free download. If you're someone that's struggling with herpes outbreaks or what do I do, natural remedies, it is linked for you as well. But yeah, I just threw a lot at you. I have a lot of stuff for you. A lot of it's free. Check it out. I would say definitely start with the nervous system healing. All right, guys, I love you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Can you let me know? Can you give me some feedback on this episode? It's completely different from what I've done. It's not herpes specific, but it's well-being specific. And like I said, I'm very passionate about helping all of us get through this diagnosis and live our beautiful lives with herpes. All right. Love you guys. Thanks for the thumbs up. Thanks for the reviews. Thanks for the subscribes. It definitely helps get the message out there to other people that are in your situation dealing with herpes. All right. I will see you all soon.